I've just put some random stuff together. She was the last character I needed. I've got her. Pretty happy with that. So I have all the characters now. I have every character in the game now, right? So if we go over to where is it that you can check our character archive? Boom. Oh, I didn't even know that had kirara. Right, she was a new character that came out. I think I only did maybe 1 or 2 pulls on the banner and I just got her immediately. Didn't really care too much. I'm sure a lot of people might like her. For me, it's kind of whatever. Baizhu is kind of the worst, in my opinion, the worst 5-star they put into the game. He doesn't have anything unique about him in the game. Kaveh, very cool character. I'm a big fan of Kaveh. He's holding a suitcase that wields a great sword. Very interesting. Mika, he's kind of unique. He's a bow specialist user. He's different. Dheya, amazing. What they did to Dheya was quite. Let's be honest. Everything about Dheya is amazing. Her character design, the way she works, everything. It's just that her damage is so bad. Yeah, alhaitham, everyone's favorite. Come on, we love alhaitham. He looks badass, right? And his playstyle is very strong. Yaoyao, great healer overall, fun little character. If you just want to have fun, throw bunnies everywhere, really good. Wanderer, by far, I'd say out of all the characters they put into the game, this is the most interesting, fun character kind of team composition you can build. If you want to have a real blast at making an interesting team composition, put him on your team. He just makes it work. He puts elements all together, swirls them up, does loads of damage, flies around. He's got multiple skill sets. I say he's got a skill ceiling, right? If you're a player that has interest in maximizing sort of damage you do, this guy's super interesting. Faruzan, just a great animo support. She really buffs up animo characters. A great character as well, just for grouping, really good. Layla, I'm having fun with Layla. She's like a ice zhongli, and I use her on a lot of teams. Nahida, what can I say? Pretty much one of the best archons they've added into the game besides zhongli. Zhongli, Nahida, and Raiden, excellent archons. You can pick and choose anything you like. Nilou, she's kind of a niche character. She's got very niche compositions. You got to really figure out exactly what you want to do with her. It's up to you. She's a great character overall. She does a lot. It's just that if you're going to build a team, she has to do something specific, because you're kind of working off of her bloom damage, which is interesting. Cyno is a character I grabbed. I've got him Constellation, but I've never used him because I personally think he doesn't have a place in the game at the moment, because Keqing is so dominant. Keqing is extremely good, so she kind of outclasses Cyno in every way. Besides that, he does have a unique playstyle where you have to do decent amount of damage when it tells you to do the damage. I love Candace's design. I love everything she does. She uses a big heavy shield. She uses a spear, very heavy attack damage. I've got her pretty much like triple crown. So yeah, she's interesting. It's just that I haven't found a team to use her on. Like, she has to have a team to be used on. You can kind of use her on reverse vaporize. So yeah, that's interesting. Dori, she's fun little genie character. Swings the electro blade round, but she's kind of like outshined by other better electro characters in the game. So she doesn't have like kind of a niche spot. Tighnari, probably if you're losing a 50-50, you grab this guy, you're winning. If you get Tighnari after losing your 50-50, I personally think you're winning. This guy is ridiculously good. I'd say he's like a Garnu level character. Charge shots, really fun. Dendro, amazing. Same thing with Collei. She works great on any team if you need a Dendro buffer. If you don't have Nahida, if you have Collei, she works. She does really good Dendro damage. She kind of throws it out there. She's got the boomerang attack, really fun to use. Heizou, when he came out, very interesting character, right? He's like a miniature version of Wanderer, but he doesn't do what Wanderer does. So he's kind of like, he's stuck in between being a DPS or kind of a burst damage dealer, which, let's be honest, if you've got any 5-star character that's animal, if you've got Wanderer, he's kind of losing his place on your team. So yeah, Wanderer kind of outclasses him in every way, as he would do. So yeah, he's kind of sitting here and there. He's an interesting character. He's a detective, very interesting. Okay, Kuki Shinobu. Since she came out, people thought she'd be bad. As soon as Dendro came out, she became the best, and she is the best. If you don't have Raiden Shogun, right, and you have Kuki Shinobu, I understand you're missing out the gigantic damage that Raiden does, but Kuki is applying the electro as you need it, and she's a healer. She's amazing. Yelan, arguably the best hydro unit in the game. But then again, you do have Xing Chao, which is just as good. If you've got Yelan or you've got Xing Chao C6, it's up to you. Yelan is the better character. She's more fun. She looks amazing. She plays really good as well. She's got the barb damage. She's really good. Ayato, 100%. Amazing character. AoE, hydro damage, fast attacks, Jade Cutter, or his main weapon. He is amazing. Super versatile. If I was to recommend any of the 5 stars to get of each element, I'd recommend Ayato, or it could be up to you. You could use Ayato, you could go for Yelan, or you could go for the other guy, which I'll show you very soon. But Ayato, amazing. Miko, I don't know, Miko's weird character, she kind of does the little electro cores around the map, and they do periodic damage, right? But I feel like so many times I've kind of replaced her with other good electro characters on the team. So yeah, she's kind of, the best 5-star support in the game, Shenhe. Put her alongside with Ayaka, you are having a blast. You're having a blast. She would buff the cryo damage units in the game to a ridiculous extent. She is amazing character, as in design wise. Story is quite interesting. She's an interesting character overall. And yeah, she just works. She just does everything that you'd want out of a support unit. And she makes Chongyun crazy. She's Chongyun's auntie and she makes him crazy. Yunjin, amazing overall Geo support. She buffs attack speed, but she doesn't buff Geo. If they would have made her buff Geo a bit more, or do something specific for Geo, like have a better interaction with Itto, buff his attack speed and then buff his Geo damage bonus as well, that would have been better. But I think they just gave it, she's defense scaling and she's a speed buffer. Arataki Itto was my first 5-star in Genshin, and the reason why I started playing the game. I love the way he plays, right? And I love what he does. But I feel like Geo needs their own specific elemental reaction. I think we need a crystallized burst reaction. Something like in the game that I play, Destiny, we have an element called stasis. And anytime you shatter, you do shatter damage. I think we need a Geo shatter damage sort of team. We need Geo to do something in terms of reactions, like explosion damage or crack or crystallize. We have the crystallized reaction, but we need like a burst of crystal damage from Geo. We need something like that. Same thing, Gorou, amazing support for Itto. If you've got Itto, you need Gorou. That's just how it goes. They just go hand in hand with each other. Thoma is becoming even better and better and better since Virgin came out. So you can put him on so many compositions with Dendro and Pyro. So overall, really good character. And he's just become better and better because he's a double shielder. And he just works really good now. He just works really good. Sangnomiya Kokomi, right. She was one of those characters I was heavily thinking, should I skip? But she has been on every single team I can build since I got her. So she was one of those characters which I didn't want in the beginning, to begin with. But now that I look back at it, it was an amazing choice of mine to put her on to go ahead and grab her for the account. She is ridiculously good. She's a Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers user, meaning she gives you that 30% increased buff. She has a really good hydro elemental skill where she puts the little jellyfish and it does constant hydro damage and healing. So she does healing, she applies hydro, she her burst skill is really good if you just want a quick heal. She is amazing. She is amazing. So starting off, I didn't think she was all that. Now that I look back at it on hindsight, one of the best pickups that I got for my account, Kokomi. Raiden Shogun can destroy anything and everything in the game. If you've got her C1 or C2, this is a character, if you come into Genshin and you just want to destroy everything, you don't give a damn what it is, you grab Raiden Shogun. She destroys everything, levels it all. It doesn't matter what it is, right? She is ridiculously good. I've got her Constellation 2. I've got her with her main weapon. She is OP as heck. She's the best damage dealer in the game, right? And she rips and shreds everything apart. She's on all of the best team compositions and she makes everything work. Her constant electro damage, her elemental skill makes it so that every character in the game applies electro on demand. Ridiculously good. Kujo Sara, a very niche character. She massively buffs Raiden Shogun's damage, but she's a bit clunky to play. But overall, her own personal damage is pretty damn good, and the way she buffs Raiden Shogun is excellent as well. Yoimiya, super fun 5-star pyro character. We only have a few good pyro main DPSs in the game. We have only got 3. We've got Diluc, Yoimiya and Hu Tao. Out of those 3, I do think Yoimiya is a very special 5-star character because the fact that you have the ranged ability. The thing is, her elemental burst does not actually do any good specific damage. It's kind of a attack, or it kind of applies pyro dot damage, which is pyro damage over time, and makes it so that the character is more susceptible to pyro damage. So yeah, but she's really good with Yelan, and she's really good with obviously Xing Chao, and just an amazing fun unit overall. Speaking of fun, Sayu, if you want a Tivat Express, you want to get around the map, you just want to explore and you want to do silly stuff, Sayu is your character. But other than that, she has not got any other specific use in the game. She's just there for roly-poly-oly and heals. So she's your healing animo unit, good animo support overall. But I'm pretty sure some crazy person out there has made a main DPS Sayu with crazy elemental damage. I mean, she swirls, so she does it all. Kami, Sato, Ayato. Now we're talking about Raiden Shogun being the best DPS in the game. She is literally right there. She makes disgusting amount of damage and she applies cryo on demand. The fact that you can use her sprint ability to infuse herself with cryo makes her ridiculous. Makes her absolutely ridiculous. Alright, Kazuha Kaidahara. He is basically the must-have for any Genshin account. Massive AoE swirl, massive buffs, stacking with loads of EM, he's good to go. Or you could build him as a main DPS unit. You can build him however you like, but if you stack a loads of EM on him and you give him that 4-piece, he's just going to be shredding enemies, swirling enemies, grouping enemies, disgusting amount of damage. Eula, she's just come out. Now the problem with Eula is that she's a physical damage unit. I don't know how she's gonna work. She's the newest addition to the account, and she's the final addition to the account. She was basically the final piece of the puzzle that I was missing. So a very interesting character. I'm gonna have fun trying to figure out exactly where she belongs. I know she does massive DPS damage. Her ice crystal damage is going to be ridiculous, and since I got C6 Mika, I'm going to see how good she is at C0 with probably a serpent spine. I'm going to be very interested to see how good she is. Yan Fei, a really fun pyro catalyst user. I feel like we are ready for a 5-star version of this character in the game. We need I mean, we have Klee, but Klee is slow and clunky. She's everything that Klee isn't. She's good 5-star damage user, and she can also be tank phase, so she can kind of be a pyro defensive support as well. Rosaria, amazing crit support for cryo characters, and just an overall really good character. She applies cryo onto the field, and she'll make a lot of team composition works that need the crit damage increase. I do have her C6, yes I do, and she really does buff over all the cryo units that need crit rate. And yeah, she applies cryo on field and does really good damage as well for a 4-star unit. Really good character. Hu Tao. Now, we talked about Raiden Shogun, we talked about Kamisato Ayaka. This is the other massive damage dealer in the game, Hu Tao. Hu Tao was the one character I wanted the most. I mean, heck, up in the corner over here, I've got a poster of Hu Tao right there, right? So that goes to show she was the one character I wanted the most, and the reason why I started playing Genshin, and the one character that I missed out for the longest time, and I wanted her the most that I have her now, right? So there's Hu Tao. Ridiculously powerful unit, ridiculous amount of pyro damage that she can do. The fact that she has Yelan and Xing Chao to help her apply pyro. You could use a team right now, Yelan, Xing Chao, Zhongli and Hu Tao, and you'll be destroying everything in the game. She's just that good. So yeah, Hu Tao, I've got her C2. Even if you've got a C0, she's very hard to use at C0. If you can get her C1, Hu Tao, you're going to have a blast at playing the game. She's the one specific unit that's kind of, for me, the personified, she is Genshin Impact. Hu Tao is the character. If I was to think about Genshin Impact, the first character that will come into my mind is probably Hu Tao and Zhongli. So yeah, other than that, we do have Zhao, everyone's favorite little pole arm user. He was the most unique character added into Genshin, and I still think he is. Him and Wanderer are two of the most unique characters in the game, but I think his playstyle is very unique. The plunging damage, his animations are amazing. If you guys go into his burst mode and you just do his normal attacks and charge attacks, amazing. He has they can build his kit in some other specific ways if they wanted to. You could use this character without going all in with the plunge, but I do know the plunge damage does give people some sort of motion sickness, which I do understand. Maybe seeing things going up and down, up and down, up and down is gonna make you motion sick, but his playstyle and the way he works and the teams that he can use as well is amazing. And he's a very unique character, a very badass character, and a very amazing design as well. Ganyu, what can we say about Ganyu? Amazing damage, the best charge shot damage you'll see. She'll put some ridiculous numbers on your screen. She is very OP, and she is a lot of people's favorites. If you're the ladies, you like to dress up as her. If you're the dudes, well, you like to have her in your inventory screen. So she aesthetically very pleasing to look at. Playstyle wise, she might not be your favorite because charge shot, aiming, boof. You can go with her burst DPS style, where you just focus on her amazing AoE crystal damage from her ice sphere. But yeah, very amazing character overall. She's a bit sleepy though. Next up, Albedo, very underestimated unit. Albedo, I personally think he is what Geo needs. If we have a specific reaction added to Geo, which we need, this guy would make everything work. He buffs EM, which is kind of weird. He works really good with Venti for some reason. Albedo just makes it so that anything that takes damage, he adds geo damage to that. And he's just, there's something missing. And the fact that his main weapon, his best weapon, was locked behind an event and it has never come back since, that's really bad. It's really bad. So if you get him now, you're not going to get the best version of him. That's really, really bad. That's really bad that they locked his cinnabar spindle away. And I started playing the game when that cinnabar spindle came out. So I missed out on the cinnabar spindle. So that just kind of shows that, you know, this guy's potential is really good. But will you get his max potential? No. Does he work amazing on teams? Yes, he does. He really does make other teams work really good. You can use a Venti, Albedo sort of team and you have a good time destroying everything on the field. Zhongli. You want easy mode? This is easy mode. This is the button easy mode activate. If right now you're playing Genshin and it feels like everything is hard, as soon as you get Zhongli, the entire game is easy mode. You get a free shield. You get massive meteor damage. If you manage to give him a Staff of Homer, you get a very tanky Zhongli, a very strong Zhongli, and he's super versatile. If you want him to be a main DPS, his attack damage is really good. His attack combos are really good as well. His charge attack damage is really amazing. He is Genshin Impact personified. This is the character, if you're looking at the overall most robust, strongest character, the one character that every person should have on their account, Zhongli. Zhongli is one of them. Zhongli makes... If you guys are mobile Genshin Impact players and you're having a horrible time, grab a Zhongli. You're going to need him. Xinyan, she is a very interesting pyro damage unit. But the problem is that she's a heavy claymore wielding unit that's defense scaling. At the moment, I'm sure she's really good on some teams, but I've not really ever had a chance to really use her because I don't know, she's just missing something. They should give her a free character skin, right, and make a artifact set that makes her work. But she's a physical damage dealer and she's pyro. She's in the weirdest niche at the moment, so I don't know what you're gonna do. She's kind of like a Eula. She's kind of like a Eula, but a really weak version of Eula, right? She doesn't do massive crazy damage. She doesn't have that oomph to her. Her character design needs something. She needs something. There needs to be something on that color palette. So she's, I mean, she's the first black female character in the game that they added, and she just, I mean, Candace looks amazing, right? But Xinyan, they need to do something. I mean, there's a fan base of people out there that really love this character, and they need to make her really good, right? They need to do something for her. So please, Genshin, make Xinyan good. Tartaglia is ridiculously good. If you first start playing Genshin, you are hearing about this guy everywhere and anywhere. Team compositions. If you've got Shangling and you got Tartaglia, you're gonna make Spiral Abyss look like a joke. He's ridiculously OP. You can choose to use him on charge attack damage or attack damage. His hydro damage is ridiculous. He applies hydro everywhere. He is a very OP character. Very OP. I'd say out of all the main damage dealers, I say he's the best hydro damage dealer base. If you've got him C0, he's the best hydro damage dealer in the game, right? But obviously people have Yelan and they say that, oh, Yelan's good like this, good like this. Tartaglia works way better on the teams. He does way more damage, right? He is just that guy. And his character design is pretty badass as well. His character as well, his story, his background story is very interesting as well. So he's a fun character, a really amazing character as well. And he's like, I feel like Genshin started releasing some really amazing characters when Genshin first came out. This was one of them, and we've kind of missed out on that cool, amazing design from a lot of the newer characters that Tartaglia has. I mean, would you pick Baizhu or Tartaglia? Yeah. Diona, amazing little cat girl, defensive, healer. She does everything, right? She does the full shebang, and a very interesting little running style as well, right? She's got that little bounce to her, being the small character that she is. She's amazing, she's fun, and she works. She is a workhorse of a character, really, really good on the teams that you can put her on. She's as good as most of the 5 stars in the game in terms of her overall utility. You want a utility character, she will do it. Diana will do it for you. Klee is clunky. Klee is bad. Klee has really good damage scaling, but she just does not work. She just does not work. She is a character that heavily relies on her stamina usage, and they need to bring a character in the game that negates her from using stamina. It's the only way she will ever work. Venti. So Kazuha is the best overall grouper and buffer in the game. Venti is that, but he is a damage dealer as well. But the problem is he does not group certain enemies in the game. His damage is really good, but if you can't trap enemies into the vortex, it's kind of nullified. But he is really good if you manage to get constellations for him. But the thing is, a lot of people will not want to get constellations for Venti. He is one of those animal archons which they debuffed at the beginning of the game, and I wish they didn't. I wish they didn't nerf this guy, because he did not deserve it. He's an animal archon, he is Venti, and they need to buff him and make him strong again. So they need to do something for him. He's really good. He is really, really, really good. But he's missing a lot. Alright, there's a lot that he should be able to do, which he's not doing right now. Okay, Ching. She got multiple buffs. Ridiculous amount of damage that she does. Alhaitham or Ching, you can use either of them, and they're very comparable. The fact that she does similar damage to a banner character event character like alhaitham, she matches his damage. It kind of goes to show, if you're going to lose a 50-50, you want a Kaching. Ridiculously good. She'll help you clear Spiral Abyss. Really fun to play. Very nice character as well. She's got a really cool skin as well. She's really good. The fact that I got her C1 today, very happy. Mona. So Mona does really good burst hydro damage, and she makes it so that she buffs damage and increases that damage as well by a massive amount, right? So she makes vaporized teams do disgusting numbers, and she can put disgusting numbers on the field, and you can give her thrilling tales of dragon slayers. But her personally as a damage dealing character, I don't know, she's that support character, and she does really good as support. I think besides her being a support character, she's kind of mediocre. But yeah, she's really good character as a support character. She applies hydro on demand. Really good hydro applicator on the field as well. She's a catalyst user. So yeah, she's really good support. Chi-Chi, we don't know what to do with Chi-Chi. She's kind of that zombie that is kind of lurking around. We know she exists. Nobody wants to get her on their account. But I think there's something that we don't know about Chi-Chi. She's a good character. In terms of a healer, I don't know, man. Chi-Chi's Chi-Chi. She's that 5-star that nobody wants, but she's there's something about her. She's okay. Diluc. We love Diluc, right? There's a lot of haters of Diluc out there. I will never understand their hate, right? He's got a really cool character skin, which they've just added into the game. Looks amazing. He's got an amazing background story. By far one of the best built background stories in Genshin. His playstyle is amazing. It's just that the people aren't too enamored with his playstyle. He feels like a character that's brought from a different game and put into Genshin, right? He looks like someone that belongs in Final Fantasy or something else, or he belongs in Devil May Cry, right? You know, you want to rev up that sword and you want to slash some demons. He's that sort of character. But yeah, if you're like one of them, you like a badass, you like that Dark Knight, you like that sort of Batman style character, that's Diluc for you. but he's ridiculously good. I enjoy him. I don't give a damn what anyone says. Diluc is one of my favorites in the game, and he will stay there. If you guys have something against that, where you can stick one where the moon don't shine, right? Because he is badass. I like Diluc. He's sick. Jean, she is really, really good. That's all I can say. She's a healer, and she can solo anything that you can do in the game. She can solo because she constantly heals herself. The more damage she does, the fact that you can just stick a 3-star on her and have fun with her, she makes everything. She makes it fun. You guys might have heard of the Sunfire Jean team. Yeah, she can really make. She can buff other characters. She can increase attack speed. She can buff damage. She can heal. She does it all, and she's a good overall 5-star unit. And her grouping is pretty interesting as well. The way that you can charge up and grab a bunch of enemies and throw them up into the air, make them susceptible to fall damage is quite fun. And I do have fun when I'm grabbing some hilichos, swirling them up and throwing them as high as I can. She's a fun little character. She's the best. Is she the best? No, she's not the best. But she's a utility character and she works. Sucrose, a miniature venti, and a very good miniature venti as well. If you don't have venti and you have Sucrose, her grouping is really good. Her elemental skill damage is really good. Her swirling abilities are amazing. She's really good. She is just really good. Chongyun, a very niche character. He makes it so that other characters standing in his field do cryo damage. Yeah, I don't like the fact that he just bit the ice lolly. I have something against people biting ice. It freaks me out. But yeah, he's a very niche character, but I think he's a very good niche character. If you want him to do ridiculous damage, you can put him with his auntie Shenhe on a team, and you can see Chongyun do some crazy damage. I mean, he could probably match the sort of damage you might see out of Ayaka if you build him really good. So if you don't have Ayaka but you have Shenhe and you want to see a character do some crazy damage, Chongyun can do it, and he can do it pretty good. Noelle is a really fun defensive unit. She's kind of like Itto, but not as good as Itto. It's like you can have C6 Noelle and you can have fun with her, or you could have a C0 Itto. You have a bit more fun with him. So yeah, it's up to you what you want to do. But hey, her character's design is really good. She's a maid. She's there to help you. Fun little character overall. But she's just like one of those characters, like if you're bored and you want to use something that you haven't used, put Noelle on your team. She's fun and she works. Bennett must have for every account in the game. If you don't have Bennett, you're doing something wrong. You need Bennett on your teams. He just makes everything work. And right now, if you have C5 Bennett and you're scared to C6 him, I'd say stop being an idiot. Just make him C6. Fine, he doesn't make Eula work, but Eula's got Mika. Eula's going to have different supports as well. They're going to put specific supports for everything in the game. So the fact that he does Pyro Infusion at C6, I'd say just go ahead and do it. But a lot of people are just having FOMO if they C6 Bennett. Just do it. He's going to be good. He's still going to make your teams work. And he's amazing healer. You can even make main DPS damage Bennett, yeah, where he does crazy charge attack damage, which is crazy, right? I'd say he's the Pyro Archon in the game. The healing and support, the amount of damage increase that he provides for your teams, ridiculous. The healing he provides, ridiculous. The access that he has to different artifact sets, he's got access to 3 or 4 amazing artifact sets, and he makes them work really good. He makes a lot of teams just viable, and if you're having a hard time with Spiral Abyss, put him on your team, put Shielder on your team, put Kazuha on your team, and then just put any of your favorite damage dealers on the team, and you're good to go. He just makes everything work. Vishu, her electro damage application is ridiculously good. So the thing is, if you're working on a character that scales off of attack speed, she is going to be a really good friend of yours. She'll make it so that the more damage your character does, the faster she attacks. So a really good electro applier. and just a solid character overall. Ningguang, besides her looking amazingly good, the she's in the game, she's there, but you're not really using her, and that's because Geo needs an elemental reaction. We need to see something that's like a crystallized explosion or something like that. And I feel like Ningguang, if they ever decide to add something to Geo, she's instantly a character that will skyrocket to the top. She is just a ridiculously good Geo damage dealer. It's just that at the moment there's nothing we can do with Geo, which is so bad. It's so bad. I feel like Geo should work with Swirl, where it does constant boulder damage. I mean, think about it. Geo rocks, swirl the Geo. You got rocks flying everywhere, doing extra boulder damage or crystallized damage. You know, bruh, the endless possibilities exist if they decide to do something with Geo. But right now, there's nothing. So, bruh, there's something needs to happen with Geo to make Ningguang viable. But right now, she's an excellent damage dealer for Geo if you're looking to build a Geo composition. When it comes to Geo characters, you just want to use 4 together. So Zhongli, Ningguang, gorou, Itto, just put them all on the team, you're good to go. But yeah, at the moment, you want to see things mix up, right? You want a mixing pot, and she's not the mixing pot at the moment. Who is the mixing pot? Xing Chao. He applies hydro damage, and if you don't have Yelan, you have Xing Chao. You got Sacrificial Sword. Ridiculously OP. Ridiculously OP. He's a healer. Doesn't heal too much. He heals enough, making Hu Tao ridiculously good. He stops your characters from being stunned, which is ridiculously good, right? So what is it that he does? He stops it. He stops your characters from flinching, or something like that. From being interrupted. Yeah, he slows interruption. Ridiculously good. Healing, overall excellent damage. Burst damage, ridiculously good. He does a disgusting amount of damage with his elemental skills, and his elemental burst damage, you can pass it on to other characters. Really, really good. Beidou, amazingly good. She doesn't work with Raiden Shogun, which kind of upsets players, but I've seen people solo everything in the game with Beidou. The fact that she can guard and then counter attack really makes her playstyle one and only one. She's the only character that guards and counter attacks as good as she does. Obviously, you do have the kind of guard mechanic with Candace, but Candace doesn't utilize it as her main ability as good as Beidou does. So Beidou's really amazing, and she really opens up the skill that specific players have when it comes to playing the game. If you want to test how good your skill is, you want to use Beidou, and you want to see how good you can do just as Beidou, just being a Beidou main. Just put Beidou on and do your thing. I've seen some stuff on YouTube which is crazy when it comes to Beidou. Xiangling is OP. She's the definition of OP. She's a 4-star character disguised as a 4-star character. She's actually a 5-star or a 6-star. Her damage is ridiculous. Her pyro application is crazy. The fact that she is used in all of the best team compositions to beat all of the hardest events in the game, Spiral Abyss, everything else, she is ridiculously OP. And she is the character that you start the game with, and you'll keep using her throughout the entire game. If there's 2 characters which I've used from the start to the finish non-stop every day, it's Bennett and Xiangling. These 2 have been the carries to my Genshin experience, and I've loved using them every step of the way. Even though they're those characters I've left at level 70, and I'm happy with leaving them there. I didn't want to level them up any further. But as I started playing the game more and more and more, I started to take 5-star weapons from other characters and giving it to Xiangling or Bennett. So these are the characters that are kind of like so OP, and other characters best in slot weapons just work better on them. That's just a fact. They give her I think I've given her Cyno's weapon, right? Which increases the elemental skill, crit rate, crit damage, all of that. Amazingly good. Razor, really, really niche. Really, really fun. One of the first characters I got in Genshin. Physical and electro damage. He's good. And that's all I can say. He's good. He's fun. But I don't know, man. Physical damage is just... They need to make it so that physical characters can crit way more often. Right? Or something like that. They need to make it so that physical characters can apply bleed. Which is a mechanic that's already in the game. Right? I think physical should be able to have the bleed mechanic. Where they do damage, but then the enemy is affected by damage over time. Because you're doing physical damage, you're like slashing and cutting. Like when you think of actually doing physical damage to someone, you're thinking of them getting stunned or locked or something like that. So I think physical characters need access to something specific in the game, and if I was to give them access to anything, it would be bleed, where your initial damage is really high, but then the opponent is affected by a small amount of bleed damage as well, which I think would be really good for physical characters. And the bleed mechanic's already in the game, so I don't know why physical characters should just get it. They should just get it. Just buff them with that. Barbara, really amazing healer. She has access to thrilling tales. Starting off the game, you're going to use her a lot, but then she's quickly going to get replaced by one of your other characters. That's just a fact. Kokomi is just 10 times better than Barbara in every single way, but Barbara does have amazing reactions with Dendro, but then they decided to nerf that, which I didn't understand. She was doing OP damage with Dendro, but yeah, she's like your heal bot. You can give her thrilling tales, and you can give her Kokomi set, and she's good to go. Lisa, she just got a new skin, really nice, really fun, but she's kind of locked behind the constellations. Her overall potential, one of the rarest characters to get in the game. I mean, these three characters that you've seen at the bottom are the rarest characters to get in the game: Lisa, Kaya, and Amber. So yeah, Lisa, Kaya, and Amber. Kaya is the best out of all three. Amber is the worst out of all three, and Lisa, since Dendro came out, she works on a lot of different teams now. But I don't know. I haven't really used her, man. She's kind of in that weird spot that Miko's in as well. Like, you know what she can do, but are you gonna use her for that? No. Someone's kind of doing it for you already. Amazing character as she is, I haven't really found a spot to use her in my time playing Genshin. Kaya. People like Kaya. I understand why they like Kaya. He works in very many ways, and he's very interesting. And if I get more constellations, I'm going to be super interested to see how good he is. Him and D-Luke are like step brothers or brothers. They're siblings. They grew up together. And I just love his overall demeanor, his interactions. He's a very snide sort of character. I like his character overall. He is a solid character, and he works really good. That's all I can say. He's just a solid unit. And Amber, I personally think she's the worst unit in the game. I'll never use her, never have used her. Charge shot, I mean, heck, I will only ever use her to solve puzzles. And since I got Yoimiya, I'm never going to use Amber. So she's at the very bottom of the barrel for me. I have nothing good to say about Amber. And I just don't know what it is. She seems very generic. She doesn't seem interesting. She doesn't seem fun. She just seems like one of those background characters that you can forget. I don't know what it is. If you guys can give me a reason why you like Amber, please do let me know. but I have no reasons. So there you go. But yeah, there you go. There's all of my thoughts and opinions on every single character on the game, starting from Kirara all the way to Amber, the oldest to the newest characters. And I'm super happy that now that I have Eula. So yeah, and this kind of goes to show you, this is from the characters that first released in the game to the newest character in the game. And I gotta say, baizhu being one of the new characters in the game. What can I say? There's a lot of amazing characters, a lot of interesting characters, and a lot of characters that have their potential yet to be unlocked. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed my overall review, please leave a like on the stream. I'll probably cut out this segment and post it as its own individual video. But yeah, if you guys see me review the characters, hopefully you enjoy that. And I'm going to go back to maxing out my Eula. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, I'm going to probably timestamp that and kind of make a review on that. But yeah,